So we're gonna make a Superman movie. Okay, first thing you gotta figure out is what's the suit gonna look like? And especially a modern one, what's the S gonna look like?
You have to honor what has been done and what the canon is and what the suit looks like. Has been around for a very long time. But yet at the same time, you want to modernize it. But what was also really important is for it to fit in Kryptonian society.
We really very much wanted the suit to have come from someplace, to come from that legacy of Krypton. And so we had to create a world where that kind of outfit was commonplace.
And rather than the traditional thing, which is it was made out of the cloth that his parents wrapped him in when he was sent off from Krypton, in our version, the Superman suit is, in a sense, it's like the foundation, it's the undergarment that all Kryptonians wear. It's kind of like what a medieval chainmail suit is to the knights of the medieval times. That's the same as our sort of Superman suit, which in fact has a chainmail motif on it.
Red underwear. I probably looked at hundreds of versions with the underwear. I mean, I tried, honestly. I said, okay, well, let's see if we can make it work, because it's Superman. But it's that fine line of reinventing him, but still seeing him in there. He has a red cape. He has an S on his chest. He has a blue suit. He has red boots. He's Superman.
I love it. I think it's a really good modernization of something very classic. It's got a very alien feel to it, while being recognizable as the suit that we know and love. And the S, I don't know what it means. It's, I don't know, Superman or something, right? What, are you kidding me? It's the symbol of hope.
Traditionally, you do a lot of sculpting in clay and make your molds, but for our Superman suit, we wanted the lines and the details to be extremely precise. So we drew it all in a 3D application in the computer, so we could get right into the detail and make sure it was looking exactly how we wanted it. The belt, the buckle, the boot trim, the trunks, the belt, everything was kind of obsessed over in every little detail.
If the buckle itself on the inside is a little bigger and you decrease the negative space, it's such, because the color is such a contrast, it might give the appearance that the belt's bigger.
That's a good idea. Well, it sounds like we're eliminating any negative space, correct? And we're gonna literally, this buckle will butt directly to the inside of our boot, right? Okay.
So what we're looking at here is the Superman suit from the second camera test. And the notes we got back from that, we're going to make a few adjustments for our next camera test. We decided that we didn't like this central shape, so we've cut that out. We've made a few adjustments to these lines here. Zack liked the idea that it had a more geometric, slightly harder, stronger line through here, a little bit like the cut lines of the human anatomy. We're making our buckle a little bit bigger. And in general, we're just adjusting the thickness of a lot of these pieces, so it really feels like you know, they're more integrated with the suit, that they just sort of are like almost like an embossing. And with just some general R&D work that we're doing with the way that the cape attaches to the suit. You know, there's a lot going on here. You're trying to make something beautiful and sculptural disappear into an impossibly thin, you know, membrane here and make it all look as beautiful as possible, because, you know, we're going to be really close up for a lot of the movie, so we're spending a lot of time and resources in getting that right. It definitely pays respect to the classical details of the Superman costume, but we're rendering it in a very high-tech, current kind of process.
Well, we went through months of, you know, putting the suit together and trying different materials and different sort of, you know, styles and different lengths of cape, different size of S-shield, different S's, and made this thing into something truly special. It has like an almost physical energy about it, and it affects people. People will, you know, stand straighter or go, oh, hey man, when they see you in the suit, where you walk past them before, not in the suit, and they're just like, hey, it's something I can't quite put a word to.
It's remarkably comfortable for what it is, and a little hot at points, but great, functional. You can move in it. It looks good. Very good. Can't really say much more.
This scene's an excellent illustration of how we work with visual effects between Zack, DJ, and myself, coming up with the best method for each particular gag, action, or scene. In the beginning stages of testing for this scene, we tried various different wire configurations, both on winches, hand poles, computerized winches, cylinders, etc., to try and come up with the most realistic, best way to fly Henry. During the process, we always have the visual effects team on board with us, as well as the director. So we know which would complement each scene. In other words, when is it best to do it live action? When is it best for DJ's team to take it over digitally? In the end, we found out that the best way to fly him for this scene was to look to our visual effects brothers. We did use a gimbal for many of the close-ups of Henry when he's starting to lose his stability and he's getting ready to crash. Those you cannot capture digitally, so we needed that human element. But again, as far as the majority of the flying here, it's all our visual effects brothers.
Hey guys, I'm back and I brought DJ this time.
Thanks for bringing me back.
And we wanted to talk just briefly about the philosophy of visual effects. Because look, the movie's gigantic. Of course we have spaceships, of course we have planets, and we have Superman too, but the idea that, how do you make Superman be super? What do you do from a visual effects standpoint? The idea was that if Superman does anything, it's gonna have to be a visual effect, whether it's what? Flying,
lifting, anything, really. Punching.
Smashing stuff.
Smashing stuff, yeah. Destroying anything. He's a sci-fi character, basically, so it becomes a visual effect really fast.
Some of the proving ground for that was even in First Flight, I think, when we talked about, like, okay, how do you make him fly? And even Damon, we were like, okay, let's put him on a wire.
Right. A lot of the stuff he did in his training facility to do his stunt viz did have the wires, right? Because he wanted to show, you know, here's the body language and all that stuff, and then you'd approve that, and then Damon and I would go back through it and go, let's not do that. Yeah, that's a superhuman hit right there. Let's switch out there.
So obviously, look, we'll both be back. We just wanted to, like, join up for a single moment to talk about the why of Superman and his visual effects wizardry.
Right on. Thank you, sir. Wonder Twin powers, activate.
So dorky. Never do that again.
But you did it right away.
Someone who has spent a lifetime covering his tracks.
All right, I'm back to talk a little bit about Lois investigating the mystery man that saved her. One of the important things when we were conceiving the film itself was to create a Lois that was intelligent, a go-getter, a good reporter. And I feel like we created this sequence to help you in a pretty short period of time sort of see all those things. And in shooting this sequence, we really had to go to all these different locations and create this investigation and lead her, of course, back to Smallville.
I'd like to talk to you about an accident that occurred when you were younger, a school bus that went into the river.
Dusty!
Mrs. Kent? I'm Lois Lane. I'm from the Daily Planet.
What?
I'm from the Daily Planet, and I'd like to talk to you about your son. I figured if I turned over enough stones, you'd eventually find me. Where are you from? What are you doing here? Let me tell your story.
What if I don't want my story told?
It's going to come out eventually. Somebody's going to get a photograph or figure out where you live.
Oh, and then I'll just disappear again.
The only way you could disappear for good is to stop helping people altogether, and I sense that's not an option for you.